Today I'm very happy. My family is a blessing to me. We're united. We are like an open book. We speak about everything, but it wasn't like that before. My parents were always busy, and the moment that I wanted to speak to someone, I had no one to speak to. So then it became in my head like I wasn't good enough, that I wasn't loved, that I could never be anyone. I was very shy at school. I was shy. Everyone around me, I wouldn't express myself. I would think I wasn't great enough. So I used to speak to my sister because that was the only person that was really close to me. But as we were almost the same age, she couldn't help me. So she would just agree everything that I would say, even if it was bad or good about myself. She would just say, oh yeah, it's okay. It's normal for you to be that way. But I needed more than that. And that's the turning point in my life. I didn't want to be like that anymore because that was impeding me. I knew that I had so much to give, but because of all that, there was even a point where I wanted to take my life. I didn't want to live anymore. Today, it's the opposite. I'm not like that anymore. Through the purpose of faith that I did in the church, it changed everything. And also I'm participating in a group, and it helped me to bring the inner beauty inside of me, the things that I have inside that are really great that I could use. And from there, that's where I started to change. I started to have confidence and started to use the things that I had great about me. I also thought that it would be very hard for me to find the right person. But today, I'm blessed in my love life, and very soon we're going to be getting married, and everything has changed. Everything in my family, in my love life, in every aspect of my life, it's changed. The advice that I would like to give to you is that you are able to do everything. You just have to look, what are you good at in your family? What has been impeding you from you having a happy family? You'll see that if you have communication in your family, things will improve. And in your confidence, as I was very low self-esteem, I never saw the good things that I have, as I'm a very happy person. And I never saw that before, that I was happy, that I was outgoing, I'm very creative. But before I didn't see those things. I only saw, no, I'm not really good at this, or I'm very shy to speak. I started to act on the good things that I had in me. And that's where I started to change. That's where I started to see. I started to get confidence in the things that I was good at, that I was comfortable in. And also in your love life, sometimes you make wrong decisions because you said, I'm getting older, or you see your friends getting married, you see your friends having boyfriends, girlfriends, this and that, and you're like, no, I want one too, just to show to others that you have one. But when you have patience and you wait for that right person, it has to be the person who has the same objective as you, the same mindset. Obviously, we're not perfect, we each have our own things, but our mindset is the same. So my advice is have patience and do it the right way.
Good evening and welcome to a Finding Answers special. Tonight's program, it's called Stress and Panic Attacks. These are two very common things that a lot of people go through. And we don't have one guest on the program tonight. We don't have two guests. We have three guests talking about stress and panic attacks. And maybe you are going through stress right now. Is there a situation in your life that's stressing you out? Or you got to a point where, you know what, you're on medication because of this stressful situation, this stressful time of your life. If you're going through panic attacks, stay tuned, because two of our guests on the program tonight had panic attacks. You're going to find out how and what it led to in their lives. Let's have a look at this video to explain more about tonight's topic.
Stress is a biological and psychological response experienced on encountering a threat that we feel that we cannot deal with. However, this stressor doesn't necessarily have to be present at the time. It could be a cognition or thought about something that isn't actually there. And one reaction to stress is a panic attack. A panic attack can be very frightening and distressing. Symptoms can occur suddenly and without warning. As well as overwhelming feelings of anxiety, a panic attack can also include palpitations of the heart, hot flushes, trembling, a ringing in the ears, or chills, and a shortness of breath. But not only do panic attacks have physical symptoms, they may also bring with them psychological thoughts of fear and terror. People with panic disorder, whereby they have panic attacks on a regular basis, tend to have ongoing and constant feelings of worry and anxiety. Chronic stress can have a negative psychological but also physiological impact on your health, such as a weakened immune system, high blood pressure, and could even cause stomach ulcers in the long term. But stress and panic attacks can be stopped with the right help. If you are experiencing panic attacks or stress and would like to talk to one of our advisors, then simply call Finding Answers on 020 7686 6300 or send us an email at help@findinganswers.tv. Alternatively, if you would like to talk to us via social media, then send us a tweet. Just start your tweet with @FindAnswersTV or search for Finding Answers on Facebook.
There you go, there's the contact details. If you'd like to give us a call, send an email or tweet us anytime during this program regarding tonight's topic, which is stress and panic attacks. Now, with me is my first guest, Nadege. How are you, Nadege?
I'm fine.
Thank you for coming to share your story with us. Now, you suffered with stress quite a bit, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And why was that? What happened in your life that you suffered stress?
I met my husband. When I met him, it was every time he was talking about verbal abuse. He was putting me down, like talking about, oh, you can't do nothing, you cannot achieve nothing in your life. So it stressed me out.
Was that at the beginning of the marriage?
At the beginning of the marriage. Even at the beginning, I didn't know, even physical abuse. He beat me, I didn't even, I should say no. I just carry on with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I carried that. Even when I was pregnant, even physical abuse is continuing.
He would physically abuse you?
Physically abuse me.
What were the type of things that he would do?
He even punched me.
Really?
Yeah. Even I remember in the toilet, even pushed me. I was pregnant. And I didn't know what to do. I was so stressed. I couldn't even say nothing to my family because I was hiding everything.
Were you dating before? Was it a quick marriage?
I was dating. After that, we got married.
So there were no signs while you were dating?
There's a sign, but I didn't even know. I was like, because I love him. I think it was like I said, oh, because he loved me, that's why he's doing this. Like he's beating me.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what many women think, right?
Yeah.
He loves me, so
That's
it's
why,
okay for him to do that to me.
Yeah. In the
So,
beginning.
this physical abuse,
Yeah.
was there mental abuse, verbal abuse?
Verbal abuse, even you can't do nothing in your life, you cannot even to drive the car, you can't drive the car, all this like just to put me down in my life. Yeah.
Would he ever come with those crocodile tears to say, I'm sorry, and then go back and repeat the same
again?
thing
Every
again?
time when you abuse me, he says, sorry, I'm not gonna do it again. After a week again, he start again. Yeah, he apologized. After that, he started. But I keep everything inside. I didn't even say nothing to my family.
How did that affect you?
It affected me so bad, I couldn't even look after myself. Even to put makeup, I couldn't do makeup. My hair.
What happened? What happened?
I couldn't even go to do my hair. I was so stressed. Inside my house, I was so stressful. Even to go and see my family, I couldn't even go out to see
You wouldn't
my family.
go out to see
them? No,
them?
to see them. Even.
How did that feel at that time for you?
I was feeling lonely. I was feeling sad. I was really feeling sad. Because I love him, I said, I don't want to be separate from him. I love him so much. That's the way we had to stay together.
So you accepted what was going on?
Accepting.
Did you ever tell, okay, you said you didn't tell your family.
I didn't tell my family.
Did you tell your friends or anyone
I didn't
else?
tell no one. I didn't tell no one, but I remember one day my auntie, they came to my house. Yeah, they saw like my daughter, she was crying. They said, there's a sign like this girl, she's going for problem.
They picked up something.
They picked up something.
Yeah.
But she told my auntie.
Right.
Yeah. And then she didn't tell me. After all this I've been going through, and then one day she said, oh, I know you was going through something.
She told you that?
Yeah, she told me that.
Now, when that happened, did you actually tell her what was going on, or did you still keep it inside?
I would just keep everything inside.
Yourself?
Yeah.
So
I was scared because I was scared of him.
What were you scared of? That he would continue abusing
He continued
you?
to abuse me. That's why I was scared.
Would he leave any marks on your body or anything like that?
Yes.
Bruises, black eyes?
Yeah, he lived, I've got even this mark on my face.
What happened there?
Yeah, because after we've been together 10 years, after 10 years, he abused me. Physical abuse was really bad.
Yeah.
One day in the morning, wake up, he was going to work, and then I asked him something. He just came and just punched me. Yeah.
Punched you?
Yeah.
This is your husband?
Yeah. It was really bad. I have to go to the hospital. Even though to go to the hospital, I was so scared. I didn't even say he's the one who did it. I even hide.
What did you say? You fell down?
I just fell.
And they believed you?
Yeah, and they believe me because I'm the one that said that.
How did it affect your children? Because, you know, children kind of pick up.
Yeah.
When there's an argument in the house, they'll pick up, they'll cry. Did that affect your children anyway?
It did, because they was crying. Every time they was crying. Crying every time, even though I want to go out with them, they don't want to go out.
Were you allowed to work at all? Did you go out to work or anything like that?
In that time, because I was having the baby, I didn't go to work. I was just dependent on him.
So he was a breadwinner, he would
Yeah.
go out and bring things back.
Yeah.
So am I guessing that the money that he provided, he controlled that as well?
Yeah, he
So you
controlled
weren't allowed to
everything.
buy anything for yourself?
Even the money, like some money for my daughter, all my bank detail, everything, he was having everything.
Really?
Yeah.
What a marriage from hell, right?
Yeah.
Now, with all that stress, all that was going on, you never sought for help, as you said. But today you're out of that relationship.
Yes.
Tell us, how did you find help? Because maybe there are women watching us who are in exactly the same situation that you were in. They're going through a serious problem in your marriage. Maybe not even marriage, you're in a relationship, and you feel like a prisoner. You feel as though you can't tell anyone, because if you do, you're going to end up being hurt even more by your partner. So, if you are feeling this way, please stay tuned, keep with us, because she's going to tell you what you can do, what she did, how she found help, right? Now, you should have, actually what you should have done, which you didn't realize at the time, was to go to the police.
Yeah.
And I think that's the first thing that any woman needs to do now, right? Even though you didn't do it. If you're in danger, it could be your husband, you could be married for many years, but you are in danger, then you need to seek help now, today. If children are involved, even more, even worse, you need to get help now. Don't assume things will change, because there's been enough time, and if things haven't changed, there are the crocodile tears, there's the apologies, but then going back and repeating the same thing again. It's time to let go of that relationship, to get out of it before it's too late, right? Is that what you advise people to do?
Yes, yeah, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
And okay, I won't say you learnt your lesson, but you have learnt your lesson.
I've learned a lot from that.
Tell us then, how are you today, Nadege? How did you get the help that you got in order to be where you are today? Share with us your story on TV.
Yeah, I went to my hairdresser to do my hair. When I went there, and she said to me, oh, there's a magazine here. And she showed me the magazine I was reading, and when I read, I saw the story about people, they was depressed, they get help. I said, okay. And I get the number, I get the magazine, and I went home, I said, okay, I'm gonna call this place. I called the place, and the next day, it was on Saturday, I said, I'm gonna go to that place. On Sunday, I went there. When I went there, after I feel like, I was missing a lot of things. I was feeling light, I was feeling happy.
What was this place?
It was a church.
It was a church?
It was a church, yeah.
So you read something in that magazine?
Yeah, in the magazine.
And it was related to,
The
you saw
situation.
stories
Yeah.
in there related to yours?
Yeah.
And you went along?
And I went alone, and before I left, someone called me. She said, oh, And you okay? How's the service? I said, no, it was fine. They say, okay, if you need help, we are here to help you. So they took my number, and then after a week they contacted me. They say, are you still coming? I said, yes, I'm coming next week. And I keep coming, keep going, and then found help. Like now. I'm not
So when you went there, what did the person actually say to you? What did you hear there at the church? Because, you know, churches nowadays, when you find a good church, they normally have good services or referrals, right? And a person wouldn't normally think, you know, let me go to church to find a solution, especially in your situation. But what did you actually get there at that church? What was the information that you got that you started doing or applying in your life?
Yeah. First of all, they said to me, you know, you can be better. You can do something for your life. Because I was down, I didn't know, I think I'm not going to be good. So when I heard positive thing like this, saying you can do, even though you have a baby, you can do something for your life.
That should have been words you heard from your husband, right?
Yeah.
Your other half should have said that, encouraged you. But this is from a total stranger.
When I went there, they encouraged me. They said, you can do something better in your life. And I said, well, okay. When I heard that, I said, and it motivated me inside. I said, oh.
Okay. What was the first thing that you did then? What did you do in order to kind of, you know what, I can do this, I'm going to go and
when I went home and I decided, no, I'm going to go and find a job. Even though I have the baby, they said to me, oh, you can find even the childcare.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, you can go back to college. I was like, oh, studying.
So did you go back to college or did you get a job?
I got a job. After that, I went to college.
That must have been very empowering for you, right?
That was so positive to be out of the house. It was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you today? How is your children today? How is your marriage today?
Now we are separate, we are divorced.
Right.
So we are not together anymore. My kids are happy because even though we're separate, but I don't keep grudge. I didn't keep no grudge inside of my heart.
Now that was something, did you learn that at the church
I learned
as well?
that from
to forgive?
Yeah, to forgive. So I forgive him, even though I don't feel like that bad feeling.
Yeah.
I don't feel it.
So he's moved on with his life?
He's moved on, he's married now. His wife. Me, I've got my kid. I'm happy.
You're happy?
I'm really happy now.
Thank you very much.
Really
I know it's been short, but thank you very much for coming, sharing your story with us. Now, after the break, you're going to hear from someone else who had a different story to tell related to her marriage as well. But it includes panic attacks. So if you are having panic attacks right now, for a long time, stay tuned because our next guest will be on to speak about her story. We'll see you after this.
This is your UCKG timetable. We are open 7 days a week, helping you to make a new beginning. Monday, a meeting focused on achieving more in your financial life. Tuesday, prayers for healing. Wednesday, a meeting teaching you to develop in your spiritual life. Thursday, a special prayer for the family. Friday, a service for your spiritual deliverance. Saturday, Find the One, a service specifically tailored for your love life. Sunday, Reconnect with God, the main meeting for your spiritual strength.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Tonight's topic is stress and panic attacks. Now, my second guest is someone who went through a very bad marriage. She's going to talk about that right now. Hi, Maria. Welcome to the program.
Hello.
Now, tell us about your situation. You were in a marriage, as I mentioned. How was that?
It was very, very bad. My ex-husband was an alcoholic, and he would beat me up. He would verbally abuse me.
Now, that didn't start at the beginning, did it?
No,
I'm sure it was all roses and chocolates in the beginning.
No.
Not the chocolates, but...
Not even the roses.
Really?
No, it wasn't anything like that.
It started off really bad.
Yeah, it didn't start off bad. I mean, we were just like dating, so nothing had happened then. But then one day when we were walking on the street, just out of the blue, I got one slap across my face, and I didn't even know what that was for. And I didn't take any notice of it. I thought, well, I don't know why he did that. Maybe I said something wrong. Maybe I did something wrong, but I don't remember saying anything wrong.
That was the first physical abuse that you
That was
experienced.
the first.
How long into the marriage did that happen? Can you remember?
No, I wasn't even married with him then.
Right.
I wasn't even married. But then when we eventually got married...
So, you see, you know what I'm going to say now, right?
I know what you're going to say.
You got a slap before you got married.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah.
But maybe like Nadege, you were in love. Were you?
If I have to really be honest, no, I wasn't.
So why did you marry him?
I think it was just nice to have the attention. I think I was seeking the attention that I never received, growing up.
Right.
And just to hear someone say that, that they love me meant the world to me, because I'd never heard that before. And then anyway, into getting on now into the marriage now, then the alcohol started, which I didn't know there was a problem before that, because he wasn't living with me. We weren't living together before that. And then I realized that he has a drinking problem. From the drinking now, it got to really severe beating. I mean, it wouldn't matter. It wouldn't matter where he kicked, where he punched, throwing me down the stairs.
So this was proper abuse, right?
Proper abuse, yeah. To one point when he put a knife in my stomach. Then another time he took a table, and a very heavy pine table, and threw the table on top of me. I ended up on the floor with the table on top.
Hold on. Didn't you ever call the police during any of this?
No, I was too scared. I was too scared. I was really, really, really petrified of him. And I never even opened my mouth to say anything to him, to ask him why he was doing this to me. And after a while, he got to a point where he didn't need an excuse to beat me. you know, his
It would just be random.
He would be random. He would come. I even got beat up for his grandmother dying, a woman that I never met before in my life. But he took that on. He took that out on me as well. Mm-hmm. And whatever, you know, just come, just that's it. Beat.
Did you have children together?
Yeah, at that point I had my son.
Did he ever take anything out on your child?
Not at that point, no. But then later on, you know, the beating. I remember one Christmas he came home, and it was very late. It was after midnight, and he was waking my son up to feed him, and I've already bathed him. I've already put him to bed and everything. And I kept saying to him, please don't wake him up. Don't feed him. Not midnight. You're feeding a child. And each time I was saying to him, don't do that, please. And I was just getting the back of his hand on my face. Mm. And he kept hitting and hitting and hitting every time I was saying, please don't do that. And to the point where and I had to stop then, because the last slap I got, my head just went straight against the wall. And all this was bleeding, my eyes was, everything, blood was just coming out. And then he took my son up and he lifted him, because I said to him at that point, because I think I'd had enough now. I mean, I even tried to take my own life after a while. I couldn't take it anymore. And I said to him one time, I said, you can hit me, you can kill me, you could put me 6 foot under, but the day you do anything to my child, then I would leave you. So I was there protecting my son, but I couldn't even protect myself from him. And then that night, he lifted my son up like this, and he threw him down on the bed. But praise God, luckily it was on the bed, not on the floor. And that was it.
You left him?
I waited for him to fall asleep, and then I wrote a little note and left it there. I said to you, I wrote on the note that I did say to you, you could kill me, you could beat me up until there's nothing left of me, you could kill me, do what you want, but the day you put a hand on my son, that would be the day I'll leave you, and I will never look back. And that's exactly what I did.
Tell us, when did the panic attack start?
The panic attack started after that. It was after all the trauma, after everything. I didn't realize at the time what was going on, what was happening to me at that time. The panic attack was really, really severe, to the point that I couldn't even walk on the street. I couldn't. I needed either to have someone walking with me, or what I used to do, I used to fill up carrier bags. I mean, I had to always be holding something in my hand. And I used to get a couple of carrier bags, fill both of them up with other empty carrier bags, just to fill it up so that I can be walking and concentrating on the bags as I'm walking on the street.
What was that? Because you would shake?
Because I would shake, I would sweat, I would think that the whole world was looking at me, everybody was watching me and talking about me, because thinking how ugly I am, because that's what I was always told, that you're ugly, you're never going to achieve anything, look at you, who's going to want you? Yeah, you want to leave me? Go ahead and leave me. But then no one's going to want you anyway. You're never going to find anyone. So for me, it was like everybody, me walking on the street, it's like everybody was thinking the same way as he was.
Was there any moment during the day where the panic attacks would really get you? Was there any time during the day?
It could be any time. If I used to avoid shopping a lot. I used to avoid going out. So I would mostly stay inside so I don't have to face anyone out there.
Today you are not the Maria of old.
Definitely not.
Right?
Definitely.
Tell us, how did you get help?
Well, even though I was suffering from panic attack, but what happened was I had an accident, and where I was paralyzed. And one day my sister was walking on the street, and she met a member, someone we know, and my sister was telling her about what was happening to me, that, oh, Maria's paralyzed. My sister was talking to the lady, and she says, oh,
Paralyzed,
don't worry.
you couldn't walk.
I was paralyzed, I couldn't walk, I was on a wheelchair and everything. And so you could imagine the depression, the panic attack, everything all in one now. And she said, no, don't worry, I'm going to tell you about this place where you can take her. My sister said, okay. So then my sister came and told me about it and said to me, oh, by the way, I've met someone, and, you know, there's this church. And I said, church? No. No. Didn't want to know. And then she says, well, okay, the doctor said you'll never walk again. You know,
So why not
this
try
is
it?
your life. This is how you and they even said that your body was going to, the rest of your body was going to seize up. You're on 32 tablets a day. Okay, you have a choice. You either go and try, you have nothing to lose, okay? Or just stay in bed and let the rest of your body seize up. And when she said that, I thought, she's right. I do have a choice.
Yeah. So you went
And
along? Did you go along?
I called her and I said to her, okay, I can't do it. You need to come and you need to take me.
Yeah.
And I went to the church, and the first thing that amazed me with it was how I was able to speak to people. I was able to have someone there to guide me. I was able, for the first time in my life, I was letting everything out. I was talking. I found myself, and I used to be very withdrawn.
Right.
Never spoke to anyone, never went out and got help from anywhere.
So you basically felt comfortable talking to a complete stranger about your problems.
I think that's what I needed, and at that time I didn't realize that. But when I got there and I started talking, the people started, you know, coming up to me and talking to me. They started.
Were you in a wheelchair at that time?
I was,
Yeah.
yes, I was.
Today you're not in a wheelchair.
No,
So
I'm not
what
in a
happened?
wheelchair. Well, I remember somebody was telling me about, like, making a chain of prayer for my healing, making a chain of prayer for how I was feeling inside, because I went to the church. I had so much, the grudges was just overflowing inside of me, and I had such bitterness inside of me.
What was the first
Everything.
thing you saw? What was it the healing? Was it the grudges first? What was it? What was the first sign?
It was actually, it was my healing.
Right.
It was my healing, because for me, that at that point, at that time, that was the most important thing for me.
How long did that take for you to start walking again?
To start walking,
Yeah.
it took 3 months, because I'm going to be honest. At first, I didn't believe.
So it's from the doctor saying you're paralyzed, this is crippling, you're not going to get any better.
Yeah.
3 months attending the church, you were up and walking.
Yes.
Through
Yes.
the prayers,
Yes.
I take it.
Well, I made a chain of prayer,
Right.
and I used my faith.
Right.
And that was something that I learned from the church about faith, which I had no idea. And I learned to use my faith. I learned that I had this faith inside of me, you know. So.
And the panic attacks and the grudges and the rest of it, how long did that take?
I had to pray about this as well, because it was very deep inside of me. But it came gradually. It came as time was passing, and I was using my faith. I was making my chain of prayer. All I wanted was just to be free inside. I couldn't face the rest of my life with what I had inside of me. I couldn't. It was impossible. And so in time, I saw that I was getting better. I started to want to, I was hearing what Nadege was saying. I started to take care of myself. I started seeing myself, yeah, I'm a woman, I'm a person, I'm a human being. I'm not what he said I am, you know? So gradually, I found myself again.
So today, how is Maria?
Today, Maria is very happy.
Yeah.
I am extremely happy.
No more hurt, no more
No.
pain.
All the hurt is behind me now. There's no grudges. Absolutely nothing. In fact, I did go back and face him after once I felt free, once all the pain, all the bitterness, everything, the hurt had gone, I actually did go face to face with him.
Right.
Because I was no longer afraid of him.
That must have been hard for you in the beginning?
It was at the beginning, but
you did it. That's something that
I needed to do that. Right? Yeah, I feel really proud of myself for that. But I needed to do that. Yeah. But now I'm free. I can move on.
Today you are a TV presenter.
I am indeed.
Right?
I am indeed. Can I say?
You can say it, yeah. It's on this channel, actually, right?
It's in this very studio, DKW.
Okay, brilliant.
Yes.
So you're moving on, and you're talking about women things.
And absolutely.
Things
Oh, by the way, we do as well have an extremely great group, which is called the Rahab Group. And it's all about helping women. It's all about women like myself, like, you know, who has been hurt, who has been abused, women who, and it's
you're
not
part
just,
of that group.
I'm part of that group. And even if, you know, it could be, when we talk about abuse, you know, abuse is everything. Abuse is verbal, physical, you know, mental abuse. So it's all different things, and it's an absolute great
Brilliant.
group.
So you're giving back to other abused women.
Yes, definitely.
Brilliant. Well done. Thank you very much for coming, telling your story.
Thank you for having me.
After the break, we're going to meet TV presenter Chrissy B and her story of her panic attacks. We'll see you after this.
As a man, I understand the struggles men like me go through. They need to be strong always and not to show any weakness, even though it's there. To be a leader to our family, to our wife and kids, when we really wish someone else would show us the way. To choose what is right in a world of wrongs. To admit to our mistakes when our egos don't want us to be exposed. To learn to be a man when we're still only a boy inside. Being a man is not easy. But hard is also a part of being a man. We don't like anything easy. We want challenges. We want to prove that we can do it. That we are bigger than the problems staring us in the face. That's why we go to the moon, we climb the Everest, we sail around the world, and build fast cars. We like the feeling of accomplishment. And please don't ever tell us it can't be done. We will die trying. Being a man is not easy, but we wouldn't have it any other way. And yet, the true conquest of a man is not measured by his money, power, or fame. His greatest achievement is to overcome himself.
Steering killer drones searching for aircraft missiles won't reach Syria for several months. Fighter jets to be outside.
One-third of women in the world are victims of violence or sexual abuse. The World Health Organization considers the problem a global endemic. After all, these women are everywhere. She sits next to you on the bus. She walks past you in the aisle at the supermarket. She could be your manager, a friend, your sister. She could be the person you least expect. For this reason, let us break the silence. The Rahab Project invites you who have been a victim of physical, verbal, or sexual abuse, or any other form of domestic abuse, to participate in a meeting aimed at your physical, psychological, emotional, and spiritual freedom, promoting peace to all women who are or have been victims of abuse. For more information, call 020 7686 6000 or visit our website uckg.org/Rahab.
Welcome back to Finding Answers. Now, if you just joined us, tonight's topic is called stress and panic attacks. Now, my third and final guest is TV presenter Chrissy B. How are you doing, Chrissy?
I'm really well, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. So, panic attacks.
Yes.
You've got your own story to tell. I'm sure it's similar in what Maria was going through. Tell us about your situation.
Well, it was similar, but at the same time, under very different circumstances, because I didn't go through anything traumatic whatsoever in my life. I never had any hardship, came from a really nice family, got lots of affection, so everything was really good at home. But I still developed panic attacks because just out of the blue, I was one night thinking about my life, thinking about my future, and for some reason it suddenly dawned on me that one day I would die. And that wasn't a concept that I'd even thought about before. And just the thought of
being in a coffin.
Not even being in a coffin, just not existing. Like the idea of nothingness completely terrified me. And I thought, oh my God, I'm not going to exist anymore, and I'm not going to see my family anymore. So all of a sudden, I started to have a panic attack, and it's not something that I'd ever experienced before, and it was horrible.
How old were you at the time?
I was around 16.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was the start of basically like 7 years of hell after that. So from the panic attacks, I developed depression, insecurities. I would lose my temper very easily. So it just changed my whole life. It's like life just became very dark after that.
Well, a panic attack, describe it please in your case. Was it similar to what Maria went through? She said she would be shaking.
Yeah, it would start off in my stomach. First of all, I'd start to feel nervous. And then I would start to feel this feeling. It was almost like it was something inside of me. It's hard to explain, but it was like something was in me, and it would spread throughout my whole body. I'd start to feel my chest feeling really tight, and then I would start to sweat. And when it was at its peak, that's when I would be shaking uncontrollably and even screaming as well.
Screaming?
Yeah, I mean, when I was at home, I didn't tell my family for a few years, but I would scream into my pillow, I would cry. It was awful. It was terrifying. That's the only word I can use to describe it.
Would that come at any time during the day?
Normally, sometimes I would kind of feel it coming during the day, but when I was outside, I was able to control it. But once I got in and once it started to get dark, that's when I'd start to get really afraid. And then most of them would happen during the night.
So you wouldn't have any control over this panic attack?
No, I could feel it coming, but once I got home, that's when it would come out.
It's like it had a life of its own.
Yes, it was very strange.
So nothing would trigger it off?
Just the thought of, like, if I started to think about death again, then it would trigger it and it would come.
Did you look for any help in any way in this?
I tried, first of all, I spoke to my parents eventually because they could see something was wrong, and I just broke down and I told them everything that was going on.
What was their reaction?
I told my mum first, and she said she couldn't understand. She goes, why are you thinking like this? You're so young, you've got your whole life ahead of you. She didn't get it. And I can understand. I didn't want to go into too much detail because I was afraid if I told her the thoughts that I was having, I didn't want her the same thing to start happening to her. So it's like I didn't go into much detail. But the first thing that my dad did was take me to the local Greek priest for help.
Right.
After that, I went to the doctor, my dad took me to the doctor, and at the time the doctor said, look, you're too young to start taking antidepressants, so I was referred for counselling instead. So I did that for about a year, but I wasn't really getting much from it, because I didn't want to just talk about it. I needed a solution. I didn't want to live like that anymore, because I started to do strange things. I was picking up rubbish in the street because I would hear voices, not a audible voice, but in my head. It was like thoughts. If, for example, if you don't pick up that bit of rubbish on the street now, someone in your family is going to die. So there's me, like...
You're nodding your head, Maria. Is that...
Yeah.
Would you get something similar?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Anything. If you don't do this, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You know, if you laugh too much, that's it. Something's going to happen. So I was a person that I hardly ever laughed.
Right.
That was.
It's awful. It's like something's controlling you. Even like a billboard. If sometimes I'd look at a billboard and I would start reading it. I'd walk past it, and then this voice would say, "Go back and read the billboard, because if you don't, something's going to happen." So I was like walking, crazy.
This thing was controlling you.
Yeah.
Right.
Picking up rubbish, other people's rubbish, and putting it in the bin.
How did that affect your, the rest of your other areas of your life?
I became very withdrawn. I shut my family out, which was really painful, because they didn't deserve that. But they didn't understand me, and it was painful to even be affectionate with them, because it was like, I'm going to lose you one day, so I don't want to get close to you anymore. The other thing it affected was my relationship. I had a boyfriend. I didn't tell him immediately what was going on, but eventually he witnessed one of my panic attacks. So I needed to tell him. He was confused, because I don't think he'd ever seen anything like that before. But then things got really bad, because I was so needy. When I was with him, I felt kind of better. So then I latched onto him for dear life. So anytime I would feel sort of like he was interested in someone else or anything like that, I would be extremely jealous. I would lose my temper. I would start off by swearing at him. Then I would hit him, throw things at him. And I just became really, really violent towards him, because it's like I depended on him for that little flicker of happiness. So he was like my kind of savior in a way. And it just caused so many problems in the relationship.
So did he put up with all that abuse, or what happened?
For some reason he did. I didn't deserve him, honestly, because I really put him through a lot. But for some reason he stuck by me. Right. And he tried to help.
How? What did he try to do?
Well, he used to sort of try and calm me down and say, look, everything's going to be all right. And sometimes he'd open the Bible and read things from the Bible for me and things like that. But it's like, I didn't feel that anyone could help me. I really didn't.
So you had that for how long?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Now, you found a solution, didn't you, as well?
I did, yeah.
Tell us about that. Today you're panic attack free.
Yes, I'm very panic attack free and depression free. And basically what it was, I used to go past this building and I used to read a sign that would say, does it pay to pray? And it's like, I thought to myself, well, I've tried everything else. I've tried counselling, there were other things that I tried as well, like burning candles and all sorts of things that I tried to get this peace. But then I had one day I had one of the worst panic attacks of my life. It was so bad that I was shaking throughout the whole day, the following day. So I had it in the evening, and then I was shaking throughout the whole day. And in my mind, I just remembered that poster, and I thought, let me just try it. So I spoke to my boyfriend and I said, please, let's go to that place tonight. And he was up for it. And it's like, it's so hard to explain. It was really surreal, because it's like the second I walked through the door, it's like the shaking just stopped. And it felt familiar, though I'd never been there before. I felt at home. And I didn't know why, but it's like I even turned to my boyfriend and I said, I feel better already. And then I took part in the session that was going on there, and I received
So
prayers.
this was a church, right?
Yes.
Does it pay to pray, the sign that you saw? Okay.
It was, yeah. And I received prayers. I spoke to someone after the session, and they gave me confidence and hope to say, look, I explained the problem, and they didn't seem fazed by it to say, oh, this is a really hard problem. They were like, no, you're going to get through this, we'll help you. And I was like, okay. And I actually, for the first time, I did feel hope. I thought maybe, my life can change. And what I noticed was that from the very first night, I never had a panic attack again. So after 7 years of panic attacks, from that first night, never again.
Never again.
Never again. And that was a huge sign for me. Like from the first, like I went home and I slept that night so well. And then I had to keep going back. And the depression took a bit longer because I had a lot of kind of doubts and, you know, I wasn't sure about things. But then, you know, I learned how to fight against the problem. I learned how to see depression and the other issues that I was going through as something that I didn't have to put up with, that I could kick these things out of my life. I didn't have to live with them anymore. And once the depression went after 3 or 4 months, and then obviously that had an impact on my relationship. Then my boyfriend and I, we started to have like relationship advice, and we went to a specific session called the Therapy of Love at the time, and we got help for our relationship, and then our relationship transformed as well.
Right.
And then I've got, you know, got confidence and, you know, not shy anymore, don't have those insecurities anymore. It was just amazing.
How long have you been panic attack free?
Oh, I think 18 years now.
18 years.
Yeah, and depression free.
Now, the way that you say it, you know, I don't have depression anymore. It's like it's curable. Depression is curable.
It's curable, and it's funny because sometimes I speak to people and it's like they learn to manage depression. It's like they think that as long as I'm okay most days, then this is healing. But for me, I never accepted that. I thought I shouldn't feel this way. This is something that is not right. And I always had that kind of conviction inside of me, even though I didn't know how to solve it. But I knew, you know, this wasn't supposed to be like this. So, but I'm living proof that you can be completely depression free and not have those low periods and high periods, and you can be free from it completely. And that's what I fought for, and that's what I got.
Right. And how is your life today? Because you're a TV presenter.
Yes.
And you're helping other people who, I take it, are depressed or have gone through mental health issues.
The show that I do is all about sort of helping people live a happier life. So, you know, we cover mostly mental health topics. And it's such a pleasure to be able to be in that position to do that. I don't do it because I want to be on TV or anything or be famous or anything. I do it because I genuinely care. I know what it feels like to be depressed. I know what it feels like to have panic attacks and to have all these issues. And it's amazing for me every time I do a show that I can share that with people and help them in some way, even if it's practical help.
How is you and your boyfriend today?
Me and my boyfriend, my husband, who's sitting right across from me. Our relationship is wonderful, darling.
So, if you don't know, she's just giving it away. This is my wife, Chrissy B, and everything that she said now, I can confirm it's true. What she mentioned, I've been a witness of it for 5 years, the last 5 years. And I've never had a panic attack, but I know what it's like for someone to go through panic attacks, right? Yourself as well, Maria.
Yes.
But all of you, Nadege as well, all of you today, you can all say, I don't have this problem anymore. It was down to my faith and God. You found solution. 3 different stories from 3 different women, but you can say, you know what, if it wasn't for prayer, if it wasn't for God, I would not be here today. She said, you could have been 6 foot under, Maria.
Yeah, definitely.
Nadege, you could have been dead as well. And where do you think you would be, Chris?
Probably not home, because I'd reached the point where I was rocking backwards and forwards, and don't think I'd be here. Not living a normal life.
Guys, you've said it all, and for you watching at home, they found their answer. You know, finding answers. That's what we want you to do, to find answers to life's problems. Everyday situations that many people go through, but then they think there is no answer. And I keep on saying this every time. God wants to help you. No matter what you've tried, if the last solution, the last door that you try is God, then He will be there to assist you, to help you be free from anything. Panic attacks, depression, suicidal thoughts, drug addiction, whatever it is. If you are actually facing a panic attack now, you are going through this problem now, you are overly stressed about any situation, you can change your life around. All right? And these 3 women here are a witness to God's power. What I want to do now is to pray for you, specifically for you who are depressed, who cannot sleep, who do have panic attacks. All right? I want to pray for you now, because if their lives changed, your lives too. And you can be assured God wants to step in. He did it with my wife. We've been happily married for...
Coming up 17 years.
17 years, right? Maria, you've been free for how long?
15 years
15 years.
Yes.
Nadege, how long?
It's been 4 years. It's
4
been
years
separate
now.
now. Yeah.
Separate, but happy.
Happy.
But lives are moving forward. If you want this change, get your glass of water because it's time for prayer.
Prepare now for the moment of prayer. If you would like us to make a prayer for your health and general well-being, send your name and prayer request to help@findinganswers.tv.
My God, it may be hard for this person to believe that the problems that they're going through can be cured or removed from their lives. But in this studio where we are live, there are 3 women, 3 different stories to tell, but yet all of them are happy today. Their lives have changed because one day they met you. They came across a place where they found help. My God, it doesn't matter what they tried before. Maybe it helped in some things, but for them to be smiling here on this sofa, happy, moving forward in their lives, they've all said it was one thing. It was faith. Faith in a living God. So my God, I ask you now, if there is anyone who's watching us now, who've heard these 3 stories, and they are going through something similar, panic attacks, depression, suicidal, this person can't sleep, my God, let this prayer now, whether they hold a glass of water in their hands or not, let this prayer be answered, my God. So visit each and every life now, each and every man or woman whose life now, they feel they're out of control. They're desperate. They're in need of a solution, of just a sign. Show them this sign, my God. So I ask you to bless this glass of water. And when they drink it, whatever is inside of them, tormenting them, taking away their peace, taking away their joy, remove it right now in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ. Lord, I bless each and every glass of water that this person is holding now. And as they drink it, cleanse them from inside out in the name of Jesus Christ. Drink this glass of water now and let God cleanse you, change you tonight in Jesus' name. There you go. Change is starting now. If you want to speak to any of my guests, we're going to go off air now, but they're going to stay around for 5-10 minutes. If you want to speak to them personally, then please give us a call. The number's on the screen. All right? Have a wonderful night. See you same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.